Welcome to SI Audiobooks. Please like and share for more content. Introduction. About the author. Orhan Pamuk is a Nobel Prize-winning Turkish writer known for his deeply introspective and richly textured works. Istanbul, Memories of a City, originally Istanbul, Hatırlar ve Seyir, is a memoir that blends personal recollections with cultural history, offering a portrait of both the city and the author's own life. Themes and significance. The book explores themes of melancholy, hüzün, identity, memory, and the interplay between the past and present. It presents Istanbul as a city caught between East and West, tradition and modernity, and glory and decay. The concept of hüzün, a collective melancholy unique to Istanbul, runs throughout the narrative. Pamuk also discusses the influence of Western writers and painters on his perception of the city and reflects on his own evolution as a writer. His personal story intertwines with Istanbul's transformation, making the book both an autobiography and a cultural history. Chapter-by-chapter summary and analysis. Chapter 1, Another Orhan. Pamuk introduces the idea of a double self, his actual self and an imagined, other, Orhan who lives a parallel life. This sets up the book's introspective tone. He explores childhood memories, family tensions, and his early awareness of Istanbul's unique melancholy. Analysis. The theme of duality emerges early, hinting at Pamuk's lifelong struggle between being a painter and a writer, as well as his conflict between Western and Eastern identities. Chapter 2, The City of My Childhood. Pamuk describes growing up in an upper-middle-class family in 1950s Istanbul. He recalls playing in the streets, his family's declining wealth, and the remnants of the Ottoman Empire visible in everyday life. Extra notes. The 1950s marked a period of modernization in Turkey, yet many families, like Pamuk's, clung to old aristocratic traditions. Analysis. The contrast between a romanticized past and a deteriorating present is evident. Istanbul's decaying mansions symbolize lost grandeur. Chapter 3, Hüzün. Pamuk defines hüzün, a uniquely Istanbulite form of melancholy tied to the city's ruins, overcast skies, and sense of lost imperial glory. He connects this feeling to the works of French and Turkish writers who shaped his perception of the city. Extra notes. Hüzün differs from personal sadness, it's a collective emotion, almost an identity. Analysis. The book's central theme solidifies here. Pamuk sees hüzün as both a burden and a creative force. Chapter 4, The Streets of Istanbul. A vivid depiction of the city's streets, featuring dilapidated wooden houses, narrow alleyways, and bustling markets. Pamuk explores how he perceived these streets as a child versus how he understands them now. Analysis. The streets reflect both life and decay. Pamuk contrasts nostalgia with the present, reinforcing Istanbul's identity crisis. Chapter 5, The Photographs in the Dark Museum House. Pamuk delves into old family photographs, examining how they shape memory and identity. He describes his home as a museum filled with relics of a lost era. Analysis. Photographs represent selective memory. Pamuk suggests that personal and historical narratives are constructed rather than absolute truths. Chapter 6, Flaubert in Istanbul. Pamuk discusses how French writer Gustave Flaubert viewed Istanbul as an exotic, decaying city. He critiques Western Orientalist perceptions while acknowledging how they influenced his own views. Extra notes. Many Western writers romanticize the East, often portraying it as mysterious but backward. Analysis. Pamuk is torn between resenting and embracing Western perspectives, highlighting Istanbul's place between Europe and Asia. Chapter 7, The Bosphorus. A deeply personal reflection on the Bosphorus Strait, which divides Istanbul between two continents. Pamuk recounts childhood boat rides and muses on how the waterway shapes the city's identity. Analysis. The Bosphorus is both a literal and symbolic divide. It represents Istanbul's dual nature, East and West, past and future. Chapter 8, The Melancholy of the Ruins. Pamuk describes the city's crumbling Ottoman architecture and abandoned mansions. He contrasts these with modern developments, lamenting the loss of Istanbul's historical character. Analysis. The ruins serve as metaphors for both Istanbul's past glory and personal loss. Pamuk's writing style itself reflects the lingering nostalgia of these ruins. Chapter 9, The Pain of Becoming a Writer. Pamuk recounts his early struggles with writing, his decision to abandon painting, and his desire to capture Istanbul's essence through words. Analysis. This chapter reveals Pamuk's artistic transformation. His rejection of painting symbolizes his full commitment to literature. Chapter 10. The Black and White City. Pamuk describes how he perceives Istanbul in shades of black and white, reinforcing the city's somber, nostalgic mood. He associates this monochrome vision with his melancholic worldview. Analysis. The use of black and white as a metaphor for memory and emotion is powerful. It highlights the theme of huzun as a filter through which Pamuk sees his world. Conclusion. Pamuk concludes with reflections on his deep emotional connection to Istanbul. He acknowledges that the city has changed and will continue to do so, but its melancholy remains constant. Analysis. The book ends on an introspective note, suggesting that Istanbul's identity is inseparable from both its decay and its resilience. Overall analysis and themes. Huzun is a collective emotion. Pamuk defines huzun as not just sadness but a shared cultural feeling tied to Istanbul's past. East versus West conflict. The book explores Istanbul's struggle between embracing modernity and preserving tradition. Memory and identity. Personal and collective memories shape how both individuals and societies understand themselves. The role of literature and art. Western and Turkish literary influences are key to Pamuk's perspective on Istanbul. The city is a living entity. Istanbul itself is the book's central character, changing, decaying, and enduring. Thanks for listening SI Audiobooks.